Hi, my name is Ben Nelman, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Juntos Finanzas. We make an automated, conversation-based engagement platform that helps banks more successfully and profitably engage with newly banked clients in emerging markets. The past couple years have been very exciting moments in the financial services industry. For the first time ever, you have, at the same time, hundreds of millions of people entering the mass market. But you also have technology changing that's allowing the financial services industry to scalably reach segments that previously were completely unreachable. And that's now through mobile banking and correspondent agent models. And so we're not talking about mobile banking like Google Wallets, but mobile banking on basic feature phones that are just transforming the landscape. And so you have people opening up their first bank account ever by the million. But the challenge that in many ways we didn't anticipate is that underneath all of this top-line growth, you have huge problems of dormancy and thinness in engagement. And so the norm for both branchless banking and mobile money deployments in these segments, it ranges between 60 and 90% in these markets. And so you have the industry not only missing out on the vast majority of the revenue potential of these deployments, but also hemorrhaging millions of dollars in costs acquiring customers that never end up using the products at all. And in many ways, that's because I think as an industry, we assume that if you build it, they will come, right? If you build the right product and get the distribution right, that's the end of the game. And in some ways, actually, the industry was right. You build it, and people came and are coming, right? They're opening up these accounts, but then nothing is happening with the accounts. And that's because, in truth, people are being asked to make huge leaps that are not easy for anyone to make. It's because this is someone's first, not just formal financial service, but also their first digital one. And so imagine what it would be like for you if you were being asked to, after having optimized complex, sophisticated financial life, all your life using cash, all of a sudden now using this tool that has totally different rules of the game that are opaque to you. And that not just have you never used before, but no one in your family and perhaps even no one in your town has used before either. And so in many ways, customers don't have the information and experience to be able to confidently use these products with success. And the industry doesn't have any way to sustainably be able to support these customers that are entering the industry. And that's what we really focus on, is how can we as an industry create a front-end frame for these new customers that frames the functional capacities of these bank accounts. And so we do that through an automated conversation platform that is, a computer that people talk to after they've opened up their account. And so they use text messaging on any phone in the world to be able to text in to Juntos, to be able to talk about the account that they've opened, how to use it, how it works, being able to get tips and information about it, but also to be able to then talk about their goals and their financial dreams and hopes. And through these conversations that are automated but nonetheless warm and personalized, we focus on how do you help someone take those first steps of actually putting money in the account and starting to use it successfully so the customer feels success and it starts to then make the product successful for the bank. Our first deployment was with one of the largest banks in Latin America. They paid us to work with 40,000 of their clients in Colombia. These clients were new not just to the bank, but to the industry. They'd never had bank accounts before. We're opening up a mobile banking product. And the bank wanted to see, can you increase the active client rate? Because the majority of the clients, just like all the industry is experiencing around the world, weren't putting a single peso into the accounts. 3 months into the pilot, the bank came back to us with the data of what was going on in their portfolio. And it turned out that their active client rate had increased by a third, and the average balances in the portfolio were 50% higher than in the control. All of that was with thousands of clients. Everything was statistically significant above 99%. And so the bank was absolutely thrilled. And we were even more thrilled. And so what we also began discovering was that beyond people actually starting to change how they used the product, they also began talking with Juntos, as I said, about their financial lives, about what they were saving for and what they cared about, and challenges that they were having with the bank account that became, in truth, a new channel of customer insights for the banking partner to be able to understand their own customers more deeply and richly, in ways that previously they had no way to do so at this scale. So we're currently working in Latin America. Over the course of the rest of the year, we're going to be deploying with 4 of the largest institutions in LATAM. They're paying us to deploy to over 250,000 clients. And we just raised our Series A to be able to continue to execute on our sales pipeline in Latin America. And before the end of the year, we're looking also to be launching in East Africa with partners there. What we're really looking to do is to show the transformative power that can come when you marry technology, right? We need to have, on one hand, the technology to scalably be able to respond to all these conversations in an intelligent way, right? Because it's a computer, not a human that is talking, that people are talking to. But how do you do that also by marrying it with customer-centric design for a customer that has historically been very challenging for the industry to connect successfully with? So how do you create conversations that are truly resonant and warm for clients around the world in many different contexts that are going to be talking the system in different languages and coming from totally different places. And so we currently feel very excited, though, about that potential of when the industry invests in the customer experience, in these customers, it really begins to pay off, and it totally changes the profitability and the landscape of banking for the previously or underbanked. And so we believe that there's a huge amount of potential in unlocking that for the industry and scaling that around the world. And we would love to have the chance to be at the conference in the fall in Boston to be able to be engaged in that conversation where financial inclusion is one of the keynote themes.